All right. Y'all live? Hello? Hello? Yo, so we're gonna wait 1 minute. Let everybody kind of shuffle in. Hello, hello. If you're watching this post, make sure you skip ahead. But yeah, right now we're live. So, booyah, switch our screen here. Welcome to the desktop. Fantastic. Yo, so today we're going to go over, like I said last week, Photoshop and Premiere. So we're gonna put those two things, beautiful things together, and you guys will hopefully get the basics of it and then be able to launch pad off different ideas. Now, always, if you guys have questions, you guys can go ahead and comment on the live streams or comment on the video after they've already been posted. You can also follow us on Instagram and then instant message me or DM me on Instagram. And the link to our Instagram is in the bio. It's Kyle_Katie. And yeah, booyah. So what we're gonna go over today is those two things. And how we're gonna do it is I'm going to show you, if you guys were brought here by Instagram, you guys saw my cute little post. It's two people looking over the view at the city, and then we have Photoshop plus Premiere, and then we have this old guy coming in, and it's just a whatever Photoshop version of my head that's moving up and down. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that, and then yeah, we'll start from scratch, and then we'll take another thing where we take some Photoshop documents that we've already done, some transparent images, and then we'll redo it just in a shorter frame. So I can show you guys how to do it, what to do, a little bit more advanced things on Premiere, a little bit more advanced things on Photoshop, but hopefully you guys will be able to go off and do this on your own. So make sure that you ask any questions that you want to. Siege is on. Yo, what's up, buddy? What's up? Little bro, dude. And yeah, so let's get it started. Black Eyed Peas. All right, so let me minimize this, make sure the comment window is big. Fantastic. So we're going to all the files that I pulled recently, and what I wanted to do was pull some PNG images, and they weren't fully transparent. So I'll show you guys what we did there to take out the background. So it's just like if you guys watch the Photoshop document or a Photoshop video, but this is just kind of a quicker version of it. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to take a video and then put some Photoshop documents over the top of them. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna go ahead and just play it for you guys. Here, and there might be a little bit of sound to it, but it's not really that important. So there you go, and just a dude walking through in my face over the top, and then nice easy little text. So, and you can see the people are moving in the background, so it is a video. Now I'm gonna go ahead and click out of that. So that was the end product, and we'll show you guys how to make it. So how I started was I had to find the background video. So let's go to Pixels Video. Now, if you guys don't know what this is, it's you can get free stock videos anytime you want, again for free, and download them. So I'll show you guys. I just searched people, and I scrolled all the way down until I could find Travel Buddy. So we'll click that. Here's the actual video that we want. It's 11 seconds, beautiful, and you guys can tell it doesn't have the Photoshop thing, it doesn't have the Premiere thing or the plus bar, and this dude, that's his actual face. It's not my face, scrolling over. So, yeah, beautiful. Let's say we want it, and we go to free download. And because it's an 11-second clip, it doesn't take that long, and then it's already downloaded, so it shows us. Now, in order to find that file, again, I'm running off a Windows computer, so it's very possible that that if you guys are running off an Apple, it's completely different. But I go to my downloads, and there's our little video, Travel Buddy. So I just keep all of my files on the desktop, and then when I'm done with the whole project, I transform it over and file them accordingly. And I'm pretty OCD about my files. You don't have to be, it's just a preference. So I'm gonna delete this because Travel Buddy is right there in the folder here. So we have our beginning video. Now, what I did to find those transparent images is I just went to Google. So Photoshop logo, PNG. I got an images. And I'm like, ooh, this one's cool because I'd used it before. Nice little Photoshop splatter. So I took this, right-clicked it, save image as, wherever you want to save it to the desktop or any specific folder. So I did that. And for Premiere logo PNG, I went there, and then I just pulled off, I think it was this one. Now, I kind of modded it a little bit because I didn't want it to say Premiere Pro CC or whatever, so I'll show you guys the little things that I did to that. Now, once I saved these files, I looked at them, and then I brought them into Photoshop itself, and what I figured out is this background with the checkers was actually a JPEG document, so it wasn't fully transparent, and I'll show you guys how I knew that. So I clicked over here, brought it over, and let's say I want to, we'll go back to my little template for thumbnails, and let's see if that image is actually transparent. So we'll drag it over here, and nope, it's got a rectangle to it. That background is there, so that's pretty annoying. So no worries, no frets. We're going to go to the erase tool, go to magic eraser, and if you guys don't know what I'm doing, I did outline it in my Photoshop video, Photoshop Basics, so you guys can see that. I think I also talked about it in Premiere, but whatever. So click that background. Now you can see that the squares are a lot smaller. And let's bring it over to the thumbnail, see if it's fully transparent. Booyah, fantastic. Now, our Photoshop document is the same exact thing. So it's not fully transparent, so we had to go in and cut out that background. Now, let's open up the actual Premiere document of what I was talking about. Now, I was like, okay, this is really dumb. I don't want, where's the original? Okay, I don't want Premiere Pro CC to show up. I just want it to be Premiere. So what I did was I took the little dropper tool and I took this background color. Now it is shaded, I think, lighter to darker. So I tried to take a color and we'll take this like really deep purple. I don't know if you guys can see perfectly that it is purple, but it is very dark purple. So then what I did is I took a rectangle to it and I just covered like that. And I was like, good enough. If you have OCD, I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. And what did it end up looking like before? Let me close this. Okay, so I didn't take out that line. This little bottom line here. And then in the corner, you could see, again, it's OCD, but I also covered with another little purple square over that little CC Cloud logo, and I just covered it right there. Now, pretty shoddy job, but it did the job. So let's open up our Premiere document, and let's see what we all got from it. Now here's the end product of what I had gotten from it. So we'll go and create our own document after, and then I'll just redo everything that I did to show you guys how to blend Photoshop and Premiere. So here's all of our files that we used. We took the Travel Buddy video in the background, and that is the very first video layer. So if I hide that, it's just looks like that. And then what we had done is we brought in our Photoshop and our Premiere logo. And then we added a little plus to show that we're adding Photoshop and Premiere. And let's run through this really quick. So it's just stationary right here. Then once the guy enters, I have it come into the bottom left-hand corner here. And then I had my face over the top of the guy because we didn't want his face, we wanted mine. And then we just added a little bit of text element. So very simple, and we'll break it down for you guys. So we'll start fresh, do it new, and that will help you guys. Because probably looking at those layers, you're like, Kyle, that's so dumb. Like, you cheater. So we'll start from scratch. If you do understand it, then fantastic. You're probably already at an advanced level or more advanced intermediate level of Premiere. So, fantastic. All right, and then we just go ahead and click through all these settings. Okay. Until we can get to the actual timeline and stuff. So, what we want to do is we saved these documents without the background on them. And so I just labeled them Photoshop, so PS, and PR for Premiere, those two logos. So I'm bringing Photoshop over, and you can actually bring the Photoshop document over. Now it asks us if we want to merge all of our layers. So if you have more than one layer, you don't want to hit this option. You can hit individual layers, and I would say you should hit that. And then on the left side here, you can go ahead and click whatever layers you want to keep in. So that helps a lot. But just because there's one layer, I'll just go ahead and click merge all layers. So just to show you guys, we can see it right here. Let me make this bigger. We can see this right here. Let's see if we can drag it over into the timeline. And we can, and right now it's at 5 seconds. And of course we can extend that or whatever else. So that's cool. We also want to add in our Premiere logo. So we'll add that here. And we have actually a couple other layers. So I'll show you what it looks like individually, but I'm gonna then just delete it and I'll bring it in all merged. But individual layers, so we have our actual Photoshop logo. Then we have our rectangles that cover over what we wanted to hide. And it puts it in a folder instead of the individual things, which really helps. So we can take our layer right here. And then again, if you're pulling anything over any picture or whatever, it's gonna automatically be 5 seconds. Then we want to take our first rectangle and layer it over the top. So it's just like Photoshop. And take our third layer and it looks like that. So we'll take those out, click the little eye, and then we can see that it's right there. Now we're gonna go ahead and delete all this again, and we're gonna merge our layers so we don't have to mess with a lot of little layers. Bring Premiere over, and instead of clicking individual layers, we will merge all of them. So we clicked OK. Fantastic. Now, what we want to mess with is the travel buddy video right here. And then I also have a, I want to put my face in here. So I already have a Photoshop document under face memes. And these are all just a bunch of heads that I have that can be used for my thumbnails and stuff. So it's Kyle's head surprise face. We'll bring it over into here. And again, it's only one layer. So we can just click merge all layers. Fantastic. Now we have all of our elements that we need. The only other element that we're gonna need is to add the plus sign, the text element, and then also the other text element that says link in bio. So here we go. First layer, I like to start with the background layers, and then every foreground layer is above it, because that's how it works. So we start with the travel buddy video. This one is 11 seconds, and we'll just play through it. They're just sitting there off in the distance, and there's the dude with the camera. Fantastic. So we'll go back here, and we want this Photoshop layer to be put in the top right hand corner, and you guys can go up here to the top left, pull it down, and make sure that you're in the effect controls panel, and then we want to make this a tad bit smaller, and you can do that by lowering the scale number, so it's at 64 now. And position wise, there's two ways to do this. You can either move this left to right, so higher or lower the numbers, moves it on the x-axis, or the second number here moves it on the y-axis, and that is fantastic. So we're going to kind of move this over here, Photoshop, give it some space for the plus, and then we want to move our Premiere document, our Premiere logo, and again we just put the scale down, move it over. The second way to do this actually is to double click on this, and then you can move it around wherever you want to, so it's free floating. You can also transform it, so by going like that, and you can actually rotate it too from the side. So whatever position you would like for it to be, you can move it however you like to. If you don't like to move with the numbers, however, I have found that if you're going to be doing this, and you double click on the image, it actually takes a little bit slower, a little bit laggier, unless you have really high RAM. I think I'm only running with 16 gig RAM, so that's definitely lower for video editing stuff. Now, if we're gonna make this video like we did it before, we need to add a plus sign, and we go up here to title. I'm gonna do that a little bit slower. Title, new title, default still, click OK. Oh, encountered an error. Fantastic. I'm gonna have to go back here. Let's try this again. Encountered another error. Okay. Okay, so we gotta shut this down. That's fine. Let's go back here, and we'll go to the original document of what we had, because it just shut down on us. Fantastic. And actually, let me see here. Yeah, everything is laggy. I did not like this, Sam. I am. Why are you lagging? See, I was just talking about the RAM and didn't like that very much. Okay, so let's go to the original files. Try this again. Right there, cool. View, large icons, fantastic. All right, so we'll open up the Premiere document. Maybe you do not want to work. Alrighty, let me do this really quick. I'm gonna have to clip this up, and we will make an external video where I clip all this stuff out. Thank you for technical difficulties. Alright, here. You guys get to see behind the scenes. Fantastic. Control Alt Delete, and Premiere Pro is still running. We'll go ahead and end that task. Cool. Alright, let's retry this. Yes, thank you. Alright. Yes, open the previous project. That's fine. Whatever you got, dude. Let's see what you have. Cool. All right, so we got it all back. Alrighty, and we were going to work with the title element. So default still. Click OK, and it still has an error. All right, I'm going to close all this stuff down, and then we'll go back to our previous folder in File. I'm pretty sure that error comes up when I have to delete the cache on Premiere. So I'll go ahead and do that later. Try to show you guys as much as I can right now. So we're gonna load our other element here, which it already has the text and the face, everything else. So we were about to this spot, and our title here is, oh, it keeps doing it, fantastic. Okay, so our title here is right here. We just added the plus sign, we added a little bit of shadow elements, and then we placed it right here. So let's look at this title here, open the motion, and you guys can see right here it's its own specific layer. Now after we have those 4 layers right here, the video is continuing, and then right when the guy comes in, we made these smaller. So from here to, actually, let me delete these. So we have these already, and we want to put them in the bottom left-hand corner. So what we do is we can extend these out, make them longer throughout the 11-second timeline, right? But we want to cut it right where this guy comes in. So the tip edge of his camera is right there. We want to cut it just before then. So your cut tool is C, the hotkey is C, and then we'll take Photoshop and we want to scale it down smaller, and we can move it. So you can either move it by double clicking the layer. Oops, that plus sign is in our way. And dragging it, or we can just go ahead and use the numbers. And again, using the numbers is quicker to scale, at least from my computer. So we'll go now to the title, go in order, take that plus sign and move it where we need it to go. And I am doing it quicker because I know what I'm doing. I've done this a lot, so scaling the numbers and stuff is very quick for me. If you have to slow down, pause the video or whatever, do so. All right, now we're gonna move this down here and right there. A little bit shoddier of a job, but does it. So right there, now let's see what we just did. So just before the guy enters, it's put down there, and we still have that guy's face. What are we going to do about this? So let's go ahead and take the face meme. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open up the original Photoshop document to show you guys what it looks like. But all it is a transparent background and my face in the foreground. It's just all around my head. And what I did was I erased the layer around, and this is what was left. And I'm actually gonna erase a little bit off the back of the neck here. Perfect. All right, so that is the transparent layer that we're actually working from. Now, going back to Premiere, we can pull the surprised face. So that's right here. And what we want to do is we want my head to move across the screen kind of like his is, in a very shoddy manner. So how to do this is a little bit more advanced, but it's very easy. So we want it to come in right as he comes in. So his head pops in at this keyframe. So we want my head to also pop in right there. So in order to do this, we have to open up motion, and we'll scale it to the size that we want it. We'll have him pop out, and then we can scale the head to where it fits perfectly, and use a little bit of rotation, and we'll have him come out like that. That's good enough. If you have OCD and that's not perfect enough for you, then I'm sorry. But cool. So we'll go back. You see the head hasn't moved yet, and here's how you move something on a time sequence. Now this is a little bit complex, but if you do it as the time goes on, it's not as hard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put my head all the way off screen here to where he's gonna come in, and we're going to click this little clock here so you can toggle the animation. So we're taking the position, the scale, and the rotation. So we're gonna click those 3 clocks. So we click position, scale, rotation, and make sure that you do it at the beginning of the clip. So he comes in right here, and we need our cruiser to come in right there as well. So you're starting from ground zero where your animation is coming in. Remember this. If you don't have it right, then it's gonna be a headache, and it really, really sucks. So, fantastic. We're going to make this a tad bigger. I'm gonna drink some more coffee. Shout out to Chameleon Cold Brew. Oh my gosh. And this flavor is caramel coffee. Not sponsored, but I wish I was. Super good. Picked it up at Fred Meyer's. Okay, so we come down here, and we need to click on the head layer. We've already clicked our clocks, right? And we can now scroll over to where the guy is going to come in on the keyframe. Alright, so he comes in right there, but his little nose pokes out right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our head so that we come in frame when he comes in frame. So that works right there. Coming out on the corner, you got the creepy little eye in my head. Now let's move the time sequence further, and we move where his head moves. So as we're doing this, there's little keyframes you guys can see by the little diamonds here that it's creating as you're moving the position. Now, if we were moving the scale, the little diamonds would show up here, or the rotation, it would show up there as well. Now, we're moving along the time sequence. My head shows up where his head shows up. And let's say we want to go ahead and move our rotation, not up, but down. Kind of put our eyesight towards this over here. And fantastic. Looking at that bottom left-hand corner. We move our time scale through, and then he kind of puts his head up. So we'll go right here, all the way over here, put our head up, and his head kind of shrinks into the frame. So we want to make sure that we shrink as well. It looks a little bit more realistic, even though it's ridiculous. On our Photoshop file, I want to save this as well. Any changes that are on the Photoshop file will be made as long as you save it, and they'll show up on the Premiere file. So I could tell by the back of the neck that there was a little bit of weirdness, and you guys could see that move, a little bit of remnants off of the head. So I saved it, and it did it quickly, showed up, that change was there. So let's keep going down the time sequence. He's moving his head. Hey, where are you going? Come back, dude. And he changes his rotation a little bit, moves his head up. So we'll do that as well. Make the head a little bit smaller. And keep on going down the time. So we're at 7 seconds right now. We want to keep on moving down. And as you're making these keyframes, the shorter distance that you make the changes, the more accurate and realistic it will look. So move his head down, move it there normal, maybe scale it a little bit higher, and keep on moving down. So he's starting to walk out. And before I leave the frame, I want to pay more attention down to this corner. And we can go ahead and walk on off. Cool, moving it around and down. And I'm not gonna have, this looks a little awkward here. It looks like I'm an owl and I'm turning my head all the way around, but I'm gonna keep it anyways. The creepier the better. And we can then go off frame. So by the time that it hits 10 seconds, we are already out of here. Now, before we're done with this whole sequence, we want to look at what we just did. So we'll go ahead and play it. After 6 seconds, it changes, and boom, moving in, look at that. And the head is synonymous with his. Now there was something weird that happened right here. My head came off. Now, that's really awkward. So we want, as he comes off frame, for our head to be off. Now, in order to take off that positional keyframe, we have to delete this diamond here. So hit delete, fantastic, and we're still off, but we have to be off right there. There we go. All right, now let's see if that looks better. Looks a little bit better. If we were super OCD, we would change it, but we're not, so fantastic. All right, so that looks nice, moving up, a little rotation. We got some movement and off the screen. All right. Now, because the head goes off, we'll go ahead and clip this right here. We don't need that layer. It's just taking up space. Now, the text element, link in bio, I would open up my text box, but I'm pretty sure my computer is going to break. So, the link in bio comes in as he's walking kind of middle frame into the screen, not scream. And we'll have it fade in. So we'll go to our effects, video transitions, go to dissolve, film dissolve, nice, easy, simple. Film dissolve here as he's walking off. It pops up. Let everybody know that the link is in the bio, and boom, we have our video. So how I did it is I went to export, file, export, media, and if you guys have watched the Premiere tutorial, you guys will know how to export your videos in high definition. So I go down here to format and I do H.264 preset, the highest HD settings here on CS6. So it's HD 1080p 29.97, and then you can name it whatever you want to, but I'll just keep it as sequence, and then you go ahead and click export, and we can see over here that it's the 11-second clip that we had been editing. Fantastic. So that's how I did that little promo video, and very simple, very easy. I was going to show you guys how I would do something else, more cleaner cut, maybe a little bit more simple, but I think I've covered the bases of just very basic Photoshop and Premiere. If you guys have any more questions, you guys can always instant message me, DM me on Instagram, or you can go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'm always looking at them. And fantastic. I think this was a very good little introduction video of Photoshop and Premiere. So, as always, make sure you're following us on Instagram. Tomorrow I'm coming out with a video game video here on this channel. And yeah, So we'll go ahead and end this off. If you guys would like to know what type of equipment I have, all of that is in the bio with the specific links to show you what we're working with. So from green screen to camera to the streaming software on Elgato. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it there. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Boo. Yeah.